I thought, with Sue Bird coming in, at least this is someone that has been positive on Caitlyn at times. And I think the issue with Sue Bird, though, is she has her hand kind of in so many things. And between with her podcast, where she tries to advocate for the players, but she's also an owner in the league. And now she's got the Team USA thing, and she's got all these connections and relationships she has to maintain. But at the end of the day, if it comes down to someone that went to UConn and someone that did not go to UConn, the UConn Mafia is going to stick together until proven otherwise.
We haven't even made it to training camp yet. We have not even made it to the December 12th Women's USA Basketball training camp yet, and they are already
This is a crazy scenario, so let's be honest for a moment. One of the most preventable catastrophes in women's basketball history was just pulled off by Team USA, and the whole thing is blowing up so quickly that it's hard to look away. Imagine this. According to reports, Caitlin Clark, the most well-known person in the sport at the moment and the one with more attention than entire teams, has taken a tough stance, threatening to leave if officials make her remove her signature number. Behind closed doors, Subbird is frantically trying to contain the storm before it gets worse. In actuality, though, it may already be too late to save this mess. The drama is intensifying hourly, and the cascading effects have the potential to completely change the course of the sport in a way that no one anticipated. It all began with a single problem that never ought to have become a battlefield.
Because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA. And not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now, this article has come.
This is what people are debating online right now. Because of a jersey number, would you truly abandon representing your entire nation? Or do you believe that Caitlin is being pushed too far in this situation? Everyone is discussing it as though it's the team's biggest turning point in years, and fans are divided. Based on the information that is leaked, it appears that Team USA made a concerted effort to have Caitlin Clark give up her iconic number 22. The same number has been associated with all of her record-breaking experiences since she was a young child. This is one of the biggest mistakes any professional club has made in a long time, so let's get right to the point. They told the athlete, whose fame causes entire arenas to sell out, that she couldn't wear the number that fans immediately associate with her name. She is the one who introduced millions of new people to women's basketball. They then pretended they had no idea that this would escalate into a full-blown conflict, looking astonished when she pushed back. According to several reliable accounts, officials informed Caitlin that she would not be permitted to wear the number she had since she was a young child learning the sport at the December training camp preparation. Similar to how 23 is associated with Michael Jordan, fans all around the world view this number as a component of her brand. She also gave a straightforward response. She won't show up if she can't wear her number. Simple and uncomplicated. As Team USA's managing director, Sue Bird is allegedly under a lot of stress as she tries to understand out how the situation got out of control and why things blew so quickly.
On it, because Sue Bird was kind of like a new generation type thing. It kind of centralized the process. There was a lot of shady means last year with just multiple people involved, everyone throwing up their hands saying it wasn't them. And now with Sue Bird there, you got a square person that's running things. Like on the men's side, you got Grant Hill. Prior to that, you had Jerry Colangelo. And in this situation with Gino Auriemma, Sue Bird, is the UConn Mafia about to try to move Caitlin Clark out the way for Paige Bueckers at the point guard position?
Since this isn't a little paperwork error or an innocuous mix-and-match error, Subbird has every right to be anxious. This is a major crisis that makes the entire company appear either startlingly unprepared or worse, blatantly contemptuous of one of their biggest stars. Neither of those choices is suitable for a program that aspires to be regarded as the world's leading women's basketball powerhouse. This is the portion that gives the entire affair an unbelievable vibe. No one at camp claimed number 22. It was not on the jerseys of any players. It was essentially waiting for Caitlin Clark to grab it as soon as she entered, sitting there untouched and wide open. Take a moment to consider that, since it completely alters everything. They have no justification for preventing her from donning the number that she has based her entire career on, no need to bargain with another player, and no need to honor a veteran. Rather, They deliberately decided to make this unexpectedly dramatic. Additionally, that decision gives the entire situation a sense of purpose rather than accident. It sounds like a subdued power maneuver intended to remind her that she is not in charge. And people are heated by that vibe. It's being called out by fans. It is being called out by the media. And because there is too much energy surrounding this to ignore, the entire public is entering into the conversation. Furthermore, the timing couldn't be worse. Before Team USA's major training camp in North Carolina began on December 12th, an event that everyone anticipated would be exciting and full of momentum, this whole situation blew up.
But now, the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up. Who cares? If you're Magic and Bird, that didn't stop Jordan from coming along and doing what.
The goal of this camp was to celebrate the future of American basketball by showcasing the next generation of players, such as Guju Watkins and Paige Bookers. It was meant to be a complete display of power and solidarity, demonstrating to the world that the talent pipeline is more robust than ever. However, chaos is currently the focus of attention. Instead, the entire camp became the scene of one of the most bizarre and senseless disputes in contemporary sports history due to a single perplexing choice. All of this occurred as a result of someone in the chain of command deciding that Caitlin Clark, the most well-known player in women's basketball, deserved to have her identity taken away for no apparent reason. This is the core of everything, so allow me to make it extremely plain. The most recognizable number in women's sports at the moment is unquestionably Caitlin Clark's number 22. There's nothing to dispute about, no creative counterargument, and no debate. From brand new viewers who have just begun to watch to seasoned basketball enthusiasts who are experts in the sport, everyone is aware that she owns that number. Her deep-range shots, which seem to be launched from a different zip code, are represented by that number. It symbolizes her bizarre court vision, which makes elite defenders appear completely disoriented on the court. It also symbolizes the fire she delivers. The kind of vitality that, no matter how difficult things get, won't give up. Her number is more than simply a piece of fabric with numbers on it for millions of individuals. It serves as a symbol. It represents excellence for all she has constructed and for the worldwide brand she has built with her skills. Nevertheless, Team USA determined that she should wear number 17 in light of all that history. The number 17 has no significance for her, no bearing on her narrative, and no background to any of her achievements. In this whole mess, number 17 simply stands for the fact that it isn't 22. And that's the idea. This has nothing to do with a jersey scarcity or some strange confusion. This has to do with control. The idea was to subtly remind Caitlin that the organization still has the final say, regardless of how well known she became.
And as far as I was concerned, I was just glad to know eventually I wasn't the only girl playing basketball and balling, and playing at a high level. But it's been a blessing just to watch the women grow and watch the women find their voices, use their platforms, and finally get paid. That's been, if anything, the flowers for me is to see their.
And Caitlin's powerful, forthright response to that message, which made it obvious that she wasn't going to allow anyone to destroy a part of her identity without cause. Then you don't need me to set such rules. Caitlin Clark made that very apparent in her message. To be honest, the timing makes the entire scenario seem even more disrespectful. This isn't taking place in a remote bubble. Everyone is aware of her recent exclusion from the Olympic team. The astonishment was genuine. The biggest name in women's basketball was unbelievable. Someone who unquestionably draws attention to every game she plays was left out. Fans questioned if Team USA's leadership even recognized the significance of this cultural event based on that decision alone. Additionally, when you combine that snub with this forced jersey number issue, it no longer appears to be a random error but rather a pattern. A deliberate attempt to lessen her influence just as it is growing. The same behavior is being called out by fans worldwide. First, despite being a worldwide attraction, she is excluded from the Olympic squad. And now, for no apparent reason, she is being told to remove the number associated with her complete identity. Naturally, Some are questioning if Team USA is concerned about Caitlin Clark's rise in popularity. She is larger than the league and the program, and large organizations don't always manage the transition well when an athlete gains that kind of power. These power dynamics can change quickly at times, and not all leaders are prepared to handle it. Sue Bird is in a difficult situation, so we must now discuss her role. She chose the training camp roster in her capacity as managing director and is tasked with shaping the program's future. Her responsibilities include strategy, development, and maintaining the team's dominance on the international scene. However, she is devoting all of her attention on clearing up a PR mess that her own company caused rather than concentrating on basketball. According to those close to the situation, Sue has been oscillating between frustration and intense panic as she looks for a way to resolve this without making matters worse. She is caught in the middle of it. Additionally, any action she takes could trigger yet another round of criticism. The harsh, indisputable fact is that Team USA is learning in real time. Caitlin Clark is the one with all the power in this confrontation. She doesn't need a national squad position to establish her legacy, nor does she need Team USA to validate her. She is aware of her already widespread influence. She has already left a lasting legacy. At Iowa, Caitlin Clark broke marks that might never be broken again. Additionally, she has increased the WNBA's exposure and TV viewership in a manner never seen before. She attracted new sponsors, increased media coverage, and introduced women's basketball into national discourse. Her impact is seismic rather than merely enormous. You have to ask yourself what she really gains by giving up her personal brand identification in order to fit in with a program that isn't treating her with the respect she so obviously deserves. Team USA, on the other hand, has everything to lose. They lose their biggest star, the cultural energy she draws, the millions of new followers who follow her every step, and the wave of sponsorships and media attention she inevitably brings with her if she leaves. It wouldn't be a little setback to lose Caitlin. It would be a complete catastrophe for the program. Subbird is frantically trying to prevent the issue from getting worse because she fully understands that. The confirmation then came. The official roster for the training camp was made public, and the number 17 was directly next to Caitlin Clark's name. As clear as day. Everyone knew at that point that this was more than just rumors or overblown conjecture. The compulsory number change was actually implemented by Team USA. The most bizarre thing is that, when you look at the roster, not a single player wears number 22. It is sitting there unclaimed, wide open, and untouched. They might have easily given it to her and prevented the whole situation. Instead, they chose this conflict and sparked an unwelcome scandal. They are now forced to face with the consequences of their own choice. And as the public responds, it only gets louder. However, this disaster also reveals a more profound issue. A persistent problem in women's athletics that extends far beyond a single player and jersey number. WNBA players have complained about being overlooked and undervalued for years. Even though they are the ones driving the sport ahead with genuine impetus, this circumstance only serves to highlight complaints that players have been voicing for many years. And now more than ever, fans are paying attention.